Okay, hello. Yeah, okay. Yes, I am. I hope that this works better now. I don't know. Okay, let me quickly check. Yes, currently, no audio. No audio. Audio. Can you hear me? Okay. Because I could hear myself. Okay, thank you. Oh, I'm relieved. Okay. Just for your info. Good, good, good. Uh, because I can actually hear myself. Okay, so just okay, here we are again. So I do think indeed it was a setting in OBS because now it seems to run also smoother. For some reason, Jesse, you cannot hear anything. Oh, okay. So okay, let's give it a try. And I think at least also the statistics from my side actually say that it should be okay. And hope that Jesse is also able to hear again. Okay, seems better now. Good. These are the realities of live streaming. Okay. So let's do the following. I am here again. Okay, good. So what I'll do right now is the following. I want to show you exactly. These are the things I wanted to say. Thank you again because yeah, I got sent a couple of nice pictures that I would like to share. Yeah, of under the stereo microscope. It was here. Again, I'm not an expert in ticks in that I'm able to identify them. Of course, we all know that ticks are actually. Wow, this one is pretty pretty full. Is the problem with ticks is indeed that of course they can carry diseases. Yeah, we know we've heard of Lyme borreliosis and also a so-called tick-borne encephalitis and so on. For this reason, of course, they have been studied quite a bit because they're vectors for diseases. And good, now it seems to work better. And what I have essentially, just like maybe some of you as well, of course, I also had my own share of ticks and also my children, and I pulled them out, obviously, and then I made a how do you call this? A permanent mount. Okay, I just want to show you now some of the permanent mounts, and then I also would like to make a couple of permanent mounts myself, and then I also would like to show you where I got those Varroa mites from. Okay, great. Ever smaller Jesse also now has some audio. That's great. Okay. Wow. Yeah. So I'm quickly going to check if yeah, over 30 people are back in the live stream. Good. Yeah. So this gave me a little scare. Yeah, I'll also be using this microscope here because I want to show you from where I got the Varroa mites. So I'll be using this one here as well. So what do I have here? Over here I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then one slide is already in the microscope of basically of ticks that I made. Some of the slides are a couple of years old already. Not all of the specimens are nicely prepared, so you see that some of them are a little bit off center, right? I was experimenting also around a little bit with some nice labels here. This one over here is a Varroa mite. Okay, that's one that's basically yeah, infecting bees. And what I would like to do as well is I would like to also try a few new things because when I made those slides, you see that the mounting medium did not fully yeah, submerge this here. So I would like to fill it up as well. And yeah, here I got again a couple of ticks here. Yeah, and yeah, sometimes yeah, you see they were quite thick. And we're not completely covered as well. So what I would like to show you now is the following. I'm going to show you first an adult tick. No, you know what? Let's do a little bit of some leg counting. And there's one thing that specifically wanted I would like to show you. The trachea. Okay, here it is. And I'm going to show you this to you first. Yeah, I'm doing something that you're not allowed to do in a lab. Made myself some tea. Sometimes it's easier for me, I realized, when talking a lot. So let's go with the scope view. Here we go. Okay, so I'm gonna show you now over here. I have to find it first. Here we go. That's a nice specimen of a tick that I pulled out of either my skin or the skin of my kids some time ago. Yeah, and a little bit of, yeah, it's a whole mount, no preparation. I simply dropped it into the mounting medium. And basically, this is where we are right now. They are a couple of years old. When we count the legs, of course, you know that ticks have 8 legs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This one here, the mouth part's a little bit damaged already. Yeah, so you see those here, the palps over here. One of there is missing over here, right? But generally, what I show you is something that is quite noticeable over here, but not so much in other slides. So this one down here, that is the anus. Yeah, it's but specifically those structures here are quite nicely visible over here. Let's zoom in a little bit because these are the breathing organs called the trachea systems of the tick, and this is surprisingly well visible here. And I just thought I'm going to show that to you before we actually do a little bit of specimen preparation. You know what? I just realized I forgot my condenser. And these are called spiracles, which are openings in the exoskeleton. And then there's a network of fine tubes stretching inwards. And basically, that's the oxygen supply, the air supply. Yeah? So they don't have lungs, but of course, they also need an oxygen supply. So what they have is they have these openings here on the side. And then those tiny tubes, they start branching out and becoming finer and finer and finer until they're able to supply the cells of the body. Yeah? So there's a question already if I did not bleach it, and that is a very interesting and a very important question. No, I did not bleach it because I used a mounting medium which starts to brighten the specimen over time. It's a mounting medium that many of you probably already know because I've been coming back to it over and over again. It's called Uporal. That's also one of the nice things about the new camera, that I'm able to go quite close. And I've bought this many years ago. Expiry date is, believe it or not, 2013. So way over 10 years ago it expired. But it's still okay. And I was able to thin it down a little bit by adding a little bit of alcohol. And by using this mounting medium, we're able to, it starts to, basically brighten it up. Yeah. Yes, ever small. It's indeed, unfortunately, expensive. I'm not so much worried about the price because it lasts forever. I'm more worried about the availability. So I got this mounting medium from a shop that specializes for insect collectors. So there was this shop, online shop, that specialized for hobby insect collectors. And they also sold that mounting medium, and it's the standard mounting medium for mounting also insects. And I know mites are not insects; they belong to the spiders. But you get the idea, arthropods. So let's zoom in a little bit more, just a little bit of biology first, and then we can, So again, here you can see the tracheids, yeah. Okay, thank you. Cheapest 120 euros. Cheapest 120 euros. That is expensive. Heaven's sake. But at least if they at least sell it to private individuals, I'm already happy. Yeah, I'm just reading the comment here in case you're wondering why I say 120 euros. It's Every Smaller mentioned that he found a source here. So, but what I want to show you here is the following, and that's also something that I noticed today, which I just want to share with you because this is quite. I find this quite interesting. Where we're a little bit lucky here. So first of all, the thing that you see is that these tubes here, the tracheae are filled with air here, and therefore we're able to see it. But look over here, you see that over here it doesn't look like it continues, and because evidently the mounting medium filled it up here. And then we're not able to see those tubes anymore. So it's actually the air that makes them visible. Yeah, so because of the differences in the refractive index. So essentially those tubes here can be seen like long air bubbles. And also quite nice, what I like is that you see that those ring-shaped reinforcements of those tubes, to make sure that they don't collapse when the animal is breathing. Yeah. So I'm just saying, just wanted to share that with you. There's another one that I want to show you. I'm just going to show you a couple of these slides, and I'm going to show you a short video, and then we're going to start a little bit of preparation. Look, yeah, 8 legs, and I'm going to show you now another one over here. I have to find it now. It's a little too bright here. Where is it? Let me go down with the magnification here. Maybe I find it somewhere over here. So what's this? How do you say the? Let me find it. Come on. Or was it there on the other side? Let me see. I have to take it out. I have to take the slide out and. Oh, I think I was looking in the wrong place. Let me see. What? I just had it before. Here it is. It's so tiny. It is so tiny that I have a problem actually seeing it. Here it is. It was on the other side. Because this one here is quite in. Here it is. Here it is. Okay, let's zoom in. Now, when I saw this the first time, I was kind of wondering what's going on here. Oh. Yeah, because how many legs does this one have? Yeah, only 6. So what in the world's going on? Of course, because we're talking about a larva here. Yeah. So this is a tick larva only has 6 legs, and yeah, and you can see also here this one here is a little bit darker because of the air, yeah, that's in it. So yeah, so what I should have probably done before is I should have probably immersed the whole critter here, the whole animal into a solvent first. But what I have done is I simply took it and dumped it directly into the mounting medium. So it's not an ideal way of doing that. But yeah, it kind of worked. So I've prepared those ticks a couple of years ago, and I want to do now the following. I just want to show you maybe a quick video. Let's see if I can get that to work. Yeah, exactly. So there is a video that I made, and it's a little bit shaky because I tried to stabilize it, and you can actually see how it's moving and sucking. Yeah, yeah. It was actually in the skin of I think of one of my kids here. Yeah, and look, I tried to remove it now using my tweezers. It's a little bit out of focus, but I could pull it out quite easily, luckily. And it was still okay. And here it is, right? So I put it then, of course, immediately under my stereo microscope, and it was moving around. Yeah, so here it is. And then I said, okay, I have to mount it. Yeah. Okay. Somebody's checking also the different companies selling the mounting medium. Here it is. I think it was on my tweezers that I put under the stereo microscope. Yeah. And the question is now, yeah, it was also still crawling around on my, on the fingers. Yeah. And it's a little bit, that's of course always a little bit difficult to get a stable view. And this is an interesting one here. So what I've done here is I dipped the tip of my tweezers into the mounting medium, and then I touched the tick. And it's kind of glued to the how do you say to the tip of the mounting medium to the tweezers now. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, okay, yeah. So here it is, and then yeah, it's actually quite yeah. I was trying to focus a little bit, and this is how I put the tick into the mounting medium. Yeah, I know it's might be a little bit cruel, but yeah, I could have dumped it also maybe first into alcohol. Yeah, but yeah. In other words, yeah, yeah. So now the video kind of repeats again, but that was basically something that I just wanted to show you because I found this on my hard disk, yeah, the other day. Yeah. So first of all, I just want to say thank you for having found some sources here. I will tell you the following: it lasts a long time. Okay, and the good thing about U-Pearl mounting medium is that it does. You can actually dilute it with concentrated alcohol, either ethanol or also isopropanol. They have also their own solvent, but actually, actually it. Oh yeah, here's the company where I got it from. Good that I wrote it down here. Okay, Fiebig Lehrmittel. So these are basically, okay, this is also for teaching material in Berlin. Yeah, so that's the company that where I got it. Yeah, so yeah, so this it came actually in a larger bottle, and it just filled over some. What I want to do now is I want to do a little bit some repair work now. And then I'm going to show you where I got the mites from, and then where I'll be using also this microscope here. Okay, let me put this away. And I'm going to try now the following. This one here doesn't work. Let me pull out all of those things here. I got so many slides here, it's unbelievable. All of them with ticks. Okay, and some, these here, this one here I mounted in Elmer's water-based glue, but not a very good mount. So we're gonna do the following right now. I'm gonna try now something that I did not try before, and I'm going to use those slides where there is something missing. So, and these are those 4 slides here. And I want to improve them a little bit. Notice that because of the thickness of the specimen, not everything's filled up. Okay, and I want to try if this actually works, because I want to make sure that the whole thing is sufficiently stable. And I need, in order to do that, I'm going to use I'm going to make this a little bit bigger here, a pipette. And some of this mounting medium. Here it is. Then I will try to do it like this. Let's see if this works. And it actually doesn't. No, it does. Does it work? Yes, I'm able to. Get some of this mounting medium in here, and have a look. Let's see if I'm able to fix this here by injecting some of this stuff, and hoping that capillary action will do its job. If not, if I'm not able to do that, and it's not working nicely, it's not enough, then what I will do then is I will just make regular mounts. And I will have to later on dilute it a little bit more. And if there's something that spills out, then what I'm going to do then is I'm simply going to let it dry and scratch it off with a sharp blade later on. Yeah, but this is kind of shows that, it does work. I'm going to push it out, and maybe, it does. If you're able to see, it does soak in slowly, not quite as quickly as I was hoping. But this is fairly viscous. So try it here as well. Here we go. Yeah, because I'm a little bit worried that if over the time that if pressure is applied, that the cover glass breaks. So let's try this one over here. But I also have realized that maybe I'm going to try it like this, because there is simply not enough. So I'm trying to basically repair those slides a little bit. You apply a drop here, and you allow capillary action to do the rest, and after over a minute or so, it's going to be soaked in. The good thing about UPROL is it takes several weeks to actually dry. So there is, yeah, it's okay if it takes a little bit more time. Yeah, so it slowly will reach. Yeah. Of course, you always want to be careful once you've essentially applied some of the mounting medium here. When you're observing it then directly under the microscope, you have to be careful, of course, that you don't contact the microscope objective, that you don't rotate the objective into the mounting medium. But I think this works better than with a pipette. Yeah, but it takes more time than I anticipated. Yeah, yeah, and maybe this one here. Yeah, that's this one here as well. Okay. Yeah, you get the idea. Yep. So. Yep. Okay. I think I'll just leave it. Maybe over here a little bit more because I'm already. So, and I think another thing that you've probably realized now is that thick specimens, and that's actually maybe this the reason why I'm showing this to you. Thick specimens are a little bit of a problem. Okay, so I wanted to show you then also an alternative solution that I've made. If I can find the other slide. Yeah, here it is. Okay, so basically that's the problem of thick specimens. But let's have a look at this one here, because this one is also quite nice looking. And where is the scope view? Maybe we're able to see a little bit. Here it is. Yeah, and yeah, this one is significantly thicker and, as you can see, also quite damaged, because when I pull it out, the mouthpieces still remained in the skin, and therefore, yeah, it's missing. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm going to so let's have a look. There's a question here. Are Uprul's fumes are slightly toxic? I would say they're not quite as from what I found out is they're not quite as toxic as those fumes of other how do you say, other mounting media, because Uprul actually is based. I mean, that's not an excuse, but it is based on a natural resin. I think they got it from a tree or something. So it's actually quite nice smelling in that sense. But essentially, it's apparently not quite as a problem as xylene or other substances. So yeah, that's at least what I've found out. So the question is now if you should put it on the coffee warmer to really liquefy the original mounting medium. If you are referring to if you're referring to the Uprul, then I have to tell you it does not liquefy. It's not because if you put it on a warmer, coffee warmer, it's going to the solvent is going to evaporate faster, and then it's going to become harder. Right, so glycerin gelatin can actually be reliquefied, but to my knowledge, Uprul not. They recommend that you add a substance called Uprul essence to it, which is the solvent. Yeah, and those critters, before you mount them, ideally, what you should do is you should also put them into this solvent called Uprul essence, because then the water is removed and the mounting medium is able to better infiltrate the animal. Okay, okay. So let me quickly check again. Okay. Yeah, yeah, I know. It smells nice. You should never inhale any solvents. Huh? So this one over here again shows, even though it is brighter than when I originally mounted it, it's still quite dark. The reason is because it's a fairly thick specimen. Okay, so as you can see, not all specimens are equal. So what I would like to do now, therefore, is let me check the time again. I would like to move on. I'm staying with those guys here, and I would like to now put them somewhere where I have to put them somewhere where the wet mounting medium does not cause any problems. So you have to, of course, store it horizontally. And I would like to now show you Okay, where's the desk view? I would like to now show you something what I made, because I would like to try a so-called, and this is something I've never tried before, honestly. So maybe it's gonna completely flop, okay? I would like to try to mount now the tick. Yeah, this it's the larger one over here. I would like to mount it on this slide over here. So what I've done is I've made a ring of nail polish. I'm going to show you how I've done that, but I'll be using this slide here because it's already dry. And this is supposed to be a spacer ring. And the idea is that I would like to mount this tick over here in the center here, but not surrounded by mounting medium, but by air. So yeah, because I just want to try it. Yeah, so that's a little bit just for how do you say, experimentation. So maybe some of you already have seen in some other videos how I made this ring. If not, I'm just gonna give you a short demonstration of this. This is so-called a spacer ring. Yeah, what I've got, maybe I have to make this bigger. Okay. With 20 mils, I can do more than 60 slides. I think you can do way more than that. Okay, this would basically mean per milliliter, 3 slides. Honestly, I think you can do way more than 60 slides. Okay, so I'm just going to show you what I'm doing. I'm just going to take a yeah. I don't want to take, for demonstration purposes, I don't want to take my high quality slides. I'm going to take one of my lower quality slides here. I say lower quality because they're not entirely clean. And so I know you put them in here. Okay. And yeah, I'm checking the statistics. So far, no dropped frames. This basically means the live stream should be going smooth. So it was indeed the setting that I've basically, I was way over the top. I should have checked this first. So you take, so I'm just going to show you how I'm doing that. This is, a regular nail polish, which I bought cheaply. Color can be your own, according to your own preference. So again, smell of a solvent. I'm not using the brush because I found out that with a pipette it works much nicer. So and you spin the whole thing, and then you carefully on the ring, carefully apply. Okay, and then you've got a nice spacer ring here. I allowed it to dry, and then I applied a second layer simply to make it a little bit higher. Okay, yeah. Okay. Yes. The nail polish can be thinned down with nail polish remover or acetone, and this might be necessary. This one is a pretty fresh bottle, and I found out that it still works quite okay. Yeah. So that is just saying. Yeah. And then when you allow it to dry, then it will go a little bit. How do you say? It will be a little bit lower, because it shrinks a little bit. And then I apply the second ring. I'm not going to be using this here right now because I don't want to wait. Okay, so I put it away. And this is the one that I'll be using, and it contains a second ring. And now I'm going to again try something that I have not tried yet. And I hope that the ring is thick enough. And yeah, again, this is what I'm doing here right now is you think I know what I'm doing? I have no idea what I'm doing. And what I'll do is the following now. I could use some U-Pearl, or I could also use some nail polish remover. Just a second. Here is a clear nail polish remover. And now I'm going to try the following. I don't know if what I'm doing is a good idea or not. I'm going to now. Okay, I hope you don't mind if I'm bending downwards. Okay. Did you make your turning table with clips on a CD? I once did make one experimentally, but then I bought myself one because I was using it quite frequently. Yeah, And that's how it looks like. There is a British company called Brunel Microscopes, and they're manufacturing those, and I'm quite happy with them. They're pretty heavy. Yeah, and that's how it looks like. Brunel Microscopes. Honestly, you can make one with a fidget spinner. Just make it sure it's kind of heavy. Yeah, with a fidget spinner, and you put a CD on top, and then it also works. And use some kind of a clamp to fix it to your table. So there are a lot of viable do-it-yourself solutions. But I just bought one. Yeah. I've tried UV-activated nail polish. Actually, not nail polish, but some kind of a cover, and it was way too thick. That was my problem. So what I'm going to do now is the following. Look, I'm going to now apply a little drop here in the center. Okay, then I will now try, and this is going to be the fun part, I'm going to try to take the tick, and I don't know how I'm supposed to turn it around, maybe with a toothpick as well, and I have to get it on here somehow without damaging. I should have gotten myself another type of tweezer. There are those special tweezers that are used for insects, which are very, how do you say, delicate. Okay, and I'm just going to now glue it on here. Hopefully that it will stick, but it seems to stick. Okay, so that's it. It's still too high. See, I should have been more careful here. It's still too high. Okay, so that's a demonstration effect. Okay, I wanted to put now a round cover glass on top. I see wanted to. See, so maybe sometimes it would be a good idea to try it out before. And let's see if it's able to actually rest on the side. Actually might work. No, it doesn't work. Okay, you know what I'm gonna do? Okay, be careful that it doesn't get off. And this tick is already a little bit damaged anyway. It fell off because there's no. Okay, more of this. So here we go. Go up, go up, go up. Here we go. Go in, go in, go in. And let's leave it like that. So, and I'm going to try it in any case. Who cares? It's not gonna work because it's not high enough. It doesn't matter. I'll try it anyway. Okay, so what I have to do now, this is kind of this. So what I'm doing here right now is a little bit more of a type of a proof of concept than maybe anything else. And the reason why I want to try it dry mount is so that I have a specimen that I can manipulate easily and also put under the stereo microscope. That's the whole point here. All of the other specimens I have are for compound microscopy, and now something for stereo. And yeah, we do this again. I forgot where I put my round cover glass. Here it is. Okay. I hope that this is actually not enough. So I'm gonna show you something else what I'm doing, because I'm not happy with, no, it's the wrong one. I'm not happy with the results. I am now going to do the following. I'm going to cut off the tip here, to make the opening a little bit larger so that the nail polish flows a little bit better. Yeah, let's give it a try. Let's give it a try. So I'm just looking for my... And here we go. And let's hope for the best. Maybe it worked. I don't know. Yeah. So I'll simply let it dry for a couple of days, and then I'll basically I might apply another ring around it. Yeah. Okay. So, and we are going to now try the following. We're going to try the following. I'm going to put it under the stereo microscope now. And then I'm going to read a few, how do you say, comments here, because I've seen already with one eye that there are a couple of comments that I want to respond to. That's the wrong microscope. Here we go. Okay, you see a little bit the... So, and... this is how it looks like. So this is kind of the idea. Okay. Yeah. I want to, yeah. Legs unfortunately shriveled up. Yes, the whole thing dried up a little bit. Yeah. Yeah. So that's why I'm saying if there would be nice, cute if there were not be such pests. Honestly, I don't. Obviously, who likes ticks? I mean, I don't like them, obviously, but at least they're good for putting under the microscope. Okay, so what I'll do now, before I actually show you some of the Varroa mites, I want to have a look a little bit through a couple of the comments here. Again, yeah, about inhaling of solvents, of course, you always want to make sure that safety, of course, is always highest importance. Yeah, yeah. Okay, still solvent strong enough. Okay, solvent. Okay. Yeah, Jesse, you've set up quite can slide. Yes, found nail polish. I'm just going through the whole thing. Yeah, the turning table with clips on a CD. Yes, I did make a turning a ring table slide once with a CD, which I glued on a fidget spinner, and this also worked quite well. Okay. Okay. UV activated nail polish. I hope I can find the bottle. Yeah, I did buy something some time ago, which was quite expensive, but which did not work. It's because it's not nail polish. You cannot see it. It's called clear nail gel. It's UV activated, and I was kind of hoping to be able to use that as a mounting medium, and it doesn't work because it's not nail polish. It's a gel, which is used as a protective. Yeah. It's very thick, as you can see. Yeah, it is a gel, right? It's actually used as a protective coating over fingernails, and then you put it under a UV lamp. So this one is simply too thick and too viscous, and therefore does not work. Okay, so that's a little bit the experience that I had. Maybe there are other uses for it, but I found this to be a little bit too thick, and it doesn't flow quite well. Okay. Okay, I designed a 3D printed motorized ringing table. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, yes. Like Oliver said, sadly too thick. Okay, yeah. And you know what, let's put the stereo so that's something interesting to look at. Okay. And then there was the question of topic, if you got my latest emails. Yes, thank you, I got them. I'm a little bit lazy with responding to emails. I'm getting a lot of emails, not so much over the microscopy thing, but also in school related. It does take me a little bit of time to respond to them. And about the YouTube algorithm. So I just want to mention that as well a little bit, is you probably have noticed that there have been a few changes over the last couple of months and weeks. A few days ago, I started to make shorts in this channel here, pretty much one every day. Simply to see if this how this actually works, if this is able to increase the views. It does. In the other channel that I have is I try to make some microscopy explainers. Not microscopy explainers, microbiology explainers. But I tell you, I can be honest with you about this. That's not easy. I have to think of topics, and it's sometimes not so easy to come up with topics. And I do not only want to talk about food safety and food microbiology in my other channel. So if you have any recommendations or anything that interests you, please definitely feel free. I'll make a video and explain a video. Yeah. Okay. Yes, I noticed you disabled all of the live recordings from the other channel. It's unfortunate that such a treasure trove of great information is now unavailable. I will turn them most likely back on again. Okay. The thing why I turned them off is because it's part of an experiment, because I had too many viewers that were not the right viewers, right? But on the other hand, there is so much information there, so I did not delete any of them. I also deactivated all of the YouTube shorts and some of the microscopy videos, okay? But they're still there. I just unlisted them because I wanted to make sure that the new viewers basically that there is a little bit a better separation between viewers, so that microscopy people visit this channel and other people who are more interested in theory and microbiology and biology visit the other channel. And so so I was kind of hoping that in this transition phase where I'm kind of cleaning up the channels a little bit, that this might help the algorithm. But it's not lost. Okay. Yeah, just to reassure you. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So what I'm going to do now, evolution of prokaryotes, really? Evolution of protozoa. Okay, thank you. These are very biological. I have no problems. Honestly, I have no problems. But I was kind of worried that those deep biological topics, that they do not have a very broad audience. So that was actually my worry. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm just reading again. Yeah. So let's do the following. I want to show you now something, a present that I got. What time is it? I have to do a little bit of time management. Maybe this was actually one of the best presents that I got from a student. Desk view. This was a couple of years ago already. Maybe, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago. I don't know. So just want to show this to you. I have to put away now all of the mounting media and everything, and just make sure everything is a little bit cleaned up. So one of my former students, they had a family business, or have a family business, making honey commercially. So they're basically producing, we have beehives and so on, producing honey and also selling it then to local shops. And all of a sudden, on graduation day, I got this here, this piece of paper wrapped nicely with a nice tie around it to me. And you will never guess what this is. This is, look at this. Okay, I need to explain this. I made those circles here. This is basically in a beehive. There is always the problem that the bees many of them are infested. Micrometeorites, no. Many beehives are infested. Many bees are infested by Varroa mites, and basically in a beehive, what they have done is they put this piece of sticky plastic foil tape into the beehive, and all of the debris that's kind of falling down, pieces of, I don't know, dead insects, dead bees, and also some mites, and I don't know, some insect parts, and maybe a little bit of honey, and I don't know. It kind of all rained down in the beehive, and it got stuck to the plastic here. Okay, and what they're doing is they're then counting the Varroa mites to determine the degree of how many mites, the infestation of the beehive. Because those Varroa mites, what they do is they live on the honeybee and they suck the I shouldn't be I shouldn't be saying blood. I should be saying the hemolymph, the liquid, the liquid of the bee. And if there are too many of them, then a beehive can be really stressed and it can collapse. And this was a present, and I was really happy because yeah, you can put this under the microscope. And what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna actually show you some of the things here that I was able to find on here. Yeah. Okay. So that is yeah. Okay. Yeah, again, interesting comments. I have not found the shorts to be very interesting, but I have supported them with likes. Please tell me what you want me to talk about. Seriously, the point of the YouTube shorts is simply to find new audiences. So it is actually more of a, how do you say, a form of advertisement, so to say. Yeah. So here we go. Of course, the first thing that you always have to do is you're able to now see maybe here at the top. Yeah. Okay, it's unfortunately upside down, but it doesn't matter. Yeah. So and there you have to remove the cap here. Yeah. And then when you hold it down like this here, then you're able I can turn on the light. Okay. Yeah. Then you're able to. Yeah. You can actually move around here, and then you can actually check. Yeah. What you're able to find here. So all of these things are, I don't know, pieces of honey, maybe some beeswax, I can imagine, right? All sorts of more or less interesting things. Look what else I found over here. Yeah, yeah, a wing of a bee. Maybe I'll also try to prepare that one. Yeah. So and what I have therefore done is, yeah, I was looking around and hoping to find a couple of Varroa mites, and I did find a few of them, and that's why I made a circle around them. Okay, and look at it, it's a relatively small area. There were quite a few of them, so maybe I don't know. Maybe there are a couple of, maybe there are 100 or so on the whole sheet here. Unfortunately, the reflection is a little bit annoying, so I'm going to turn off the light here. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and then you can move around and find some. Yeah, most of the things that I see here are probably not. Yeah, just I don't know some. Yeah. So wax maybe, and whatnot. Yeah. But then again, every now and then you see those mites here. Yeah, this one seems to be cracked open a little bit. They look almost like, I don't know, like crabs, you know? Yeah. Ah, look, here's another one. Yeah. Here's another one. Yeah. So, and this basically, yeah, this was basically a present that I got, and I was really super happy. And this is when I started to collect a few of those yeah, Varroa mites, and I would like to again make a couple of slides using them. Okay. Okay, I'm reading, in case I'm hesitating a little bit, the reason is because with one eye I'm always looking and reading the forum. Here we go, where is the desk view again? Here we go, okay. And I thought, well, let's try to mount a few of them. And the good thing is that they are significantly smaller and thinner, and therefore there's absolutely no problem actually, yeah, putting them directly on a microscope slide without a spacer ring. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, the question is now, which one shall I be using? I just wanted to show you again, because it's also something that I realized today. I've got two types of microscope slides. The cheap ones and slightly more expensive ones. I just want you to have a look here at the cheap ones, and you see that there's this white layer on top. Yeah. And I tried to, you have to clean them beforehand. I tried to clean them, of course, not only with alcohol, but also with acid, like vinegar, because these seem to be a little bit like water spots. And then the more expensive ones here, yeah, they look way better. So what I usually do in this case is if I have those cheap, for making those permanent mounts, I always use the cheaper ones because the more expensive ones I reuse. I wash them again, and yeah, and just I'm just going to try to dry wipe them to remove whatever is on here. Sometimes dry wiping even works even a little bit better than washing it. Okay. Not a lot. So what I will do is I will add a little bit of alcohol. Otherwise, I'm just going to leave it as it is. It's only for demonstration purposes anyway. It also, a little bit of alcohol is also good to remove any fingerprints because any grease that's on it might prevent the mounting medium from properly sticking. Yeah, it's not a lot better. Okay, so doesn't matter. We're gonna try it in any case. I recommend that you use. Do I even have something like this? Yeah, here it is. I recommend that you use a piece of paper as a, in case we have some spilling happening. Okay, I don't know if I spill it, then the mounting medium is not directly on the surface here. And yeah, let's have a look. Okay. Okay, I'm reading every now and then again. Oh, okay. So. No, I will not do that yet. I will show you something else. Not yet. Look, you always want to do the following. So, here we go. This allows me to center it a little bit better. I usually put a small drop first. Then I take a toothpick. I need my glasses wherever I put them. I'm going to now do the following. I'm picking up one of them, dropping it in here, maybe picking up another one, dropping it in here, and I have to make sure that they're properly submersed. You can push them down, of course, into the mounting medium. However, I generally feel that there might not be enough mounting medium present here in the first place. So what I would do in this case is I would probably simply add another drop. And here we go. And that's actually one of the problems that you can see that, yeah, it starts to push it to the side. And that is unfortunate. Okay, in here. So, and now when applying the cover glass, this is gonna be a little bit tricky. I want to use, let's say the round ones. Also a little bit dry wiping them. Vinegar for cleaning slides, yes, because water spots, calcium carbonate. And this actually works, okay, because the calcium carbonate, it depends a little bit how the slides were washed before, but these are the so-called the water spots. So when you have water drying up and then you see where the water was, that's usually the calcium carbonate, chalk in other words, and this basically reacts with the acid in the vinegar to make carbon dioxide. So, but you probably have to try it out. Yeah. So, and I try to put it on here. This is the round cover glass. Don't know if you see it. And then I hope that the mounting they kind of stay in the center and are not pushed too much to the side. You see, let capillary action do the rest. Okay, and as you can see, we have again a little bit this air here on the side, so which maybe it's able to fill it up. I don't know. So not to worry. As I showed you before, I'll just fill it up later on. Yeah, when it's dry. This slide now has to be stored horizontally at room temperature for approximately 6 weeks. Sometimes it's good if it dries so slowly, because this gives it enough time to actually reach all of the parts of the specimen. So mounting media that dry very quickly, for example, they will become dry before even they have enough time to actually go into all of the parts of the specimen. So for preservation purposes, this is actually better. Okay. And you know what? We're going to have a look at this, and then we're going to have also a look at a few older specimens that I have here. Where is this? Yeah. So again, you got to be careful that nothing touches the microscope optics. And scope view again, and here we go. And you will probably already see, and this is actually what I wanted to demonstrate here. It's pretty dark, right? Yeah, those bubbles that you see here, the big bubbles, they actually should disappear over time. Yeah, as the liquid. Yeah, you can see some bubbles here. Thank you very much. Here's some questions. Many of them I probably already answered. This one over here is already pretty damaged. I see. Oh, this is a pretty bad one. It's ripped apart. Yeah, this one is already pretty damaged. Doesn't matter. It's you get the idea. Yeah. And this one over here still seems to be intact, but essentially it looks fairly dark. So for comparison, let's have a look at a few of them that basically. Where did I put them? Let's have a look at a few of them that basically are a little bit older, like a year old. So let's put this one over here. And this is how it looks after a couple of months. Let's put the arrow away. Yeah, you see that this is basically what I mean with the clearing effect of the mounting medium. Yeah, it's way brighter so basically somehow it bleaches. It somehow bleaches the specimen. Yeah? So this one is over a year old, 1 or 2 years old. Yeah? So and this one is the one that we just made. It's still very dark, and maybe after a couple of weeks or so, we're gonna revisit it again, and we're gonna see how if it has also brightened up. Yeah. How is Spiky doing? We're going to have a look at Spiky. Okay. So when looking at, I think it's shed of some of the... Off topic, I noticed when looking at what I think is a shed of one, that some of the hairs are barbed. I suppose you're talking about the carpet beetle still, yeah? Yeah. So... I'm reading again some of the comments here. Yeah, so that is basically the one that we just made. And let's now have a look at the other one over here. Okay, it's been 1 hour now. A little bit more than 1 hour. That's another one here. You see, it's also quite bright. Yeah. Yep. Where is it? Focus. Yeah. So I want to ask you guys a philosophical question. Why are we even doing this? You didn't expect that question, right? You see, sometimes I'm asking myself the question, why bother? You know, who cares? I mean, we already know how those critters look like. You can get pictures online, as many as you want, right? And I'm saying no. Exactly at a time where so many things are done basically online and AI and everything, I really like the fact that there's some hands-on things that really connects me back to nature. Yeah, so that's let me have another drink now. Okay, thank you. Yeah, so so this here is the one, the tick in a dry mounted tick. So let's have a look at the carpet beetle. I have not looked at the guy now for a few days. Yeah, exactly. I consider this these things here, even though it does look a little bit sloppy, you know. I get it. Yeah, but still, it's how do you say yeah, even if they don't always look perfect, yeah, it's nature preserved here on my table. Yeah? And I kind of find that fascinating. So let's open it up. Let's see where it is. Uh-huh. Is the guy molting again? Uh-huh. Looks a little different. There, it's covered up partially with the mold. I wonder if he's still alive. I don't know. I've been feeding it my fingernail every now and then. If he's not alive anymore, then I'm going to, of course, put his bristles under the microscope. I'm going to try to follow. Is there? Okay. Yeah. Here. I'm going to. I need a toothpick. I can separate the mold. Oh, there. He molded again. I've got two molds now. Really? Yeah. There was already one mold there at the beginning. Right, maybe this one here. Then now there is a second mold, which I did not see before. He seems to be still, yeah, he seems to be doing fine. Here he is, okay. Yeah. Yeah, so, yeah, here he is. And I can confirm that some time ago he molted again. So I've got two molds now. So maybe I'm gonna put some of these molds under the microscope. I wonder how often those they actually molt. Yeah, because these are larvae, so they should actually go into metamorphosis to form an adult. I don't know under what conditions they do that. Yeah, maybe it depends a little bit on how much they get to eat. But the fact that it was actually it did molt, is actually a sign that it seems to be growing. Otherwise, it wouldn't be molting. Yeah, so for those of you who have not been following this, I've got this carpet beetle I found back in October. So October, November, December, January, 4 months ago. I kept it in this small petri dish, and because they eat protein. The name of the protein is keratin. So, for example, which can be found in fur, in hair, and I shaved off some of my fingernails, and it's been eating this stuff. And actually, just for the sake of completion, I might be just giving it again a little bit some food. So I'm going to show you how I'm doing that. And I also want to report back a little bit on the on my trial to grow paramecia, semi-successful. So let's try it here again. And where's the desk? Here it is. Yeah, so see over here, that's the mold, the skin that it was shedding off, and that's the larva. And how do you feed it? You gotta be super careful. I once cut myself with this thing. Just shave some of the fingernail off, and there is a little bit almost barely visible here. More than enough. And I know that it's eating it because it disappears. Yeah, this is, I need a little more. Yeah, it's a little bit on here. Yeah, that's better. So. Yeah, that's enough. Somehow it finds it and eats it up. And then I've been feeding it on already, I don't know, 3 times or 4 times. And the stereo view. I don't know where. Yeah, here. These are basically the fingernail shavings. Even a couple here. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if it's able to handle nail clippings as such. You never know. I mean, it's actually used to eat fur. So that's why they're called carpet beetles, because sheep wool and so on. Yeah, so they are actually pests. They really can do a lot of damage to your carpets and so on. Yeah, so you got to be careful. Here it is, kind of moving around. Yeah, I don't know. You get the idea. As soon as you touch it, it basically goes into defensive mode, where it's actually branching off its bristles as defense. Okay. Does it always? It could be. Maybe it's kind of sensing that there's also something from the side, and maybe that's the reason. I don't know. Yeah. We're gonna see if this actually. Yeah, you get the idea. Spiky seems to be happy, and he's not able to escape. It's too smooth. I still put a lid on top. Okay. Yeah. So let's turn it off, and let's go back here again to the desk view. Okay. So what I'm gonna do now is, or the scope view. Let's have a look at. Yeah, this is the one that I have made before. Ticks, trachea. Okay. Where is the other one? Yeah, let's have a look at those again. So that we, as I read some of the comments. Yeah. So that's an interesting one. What about moisture? I have not given it any water. I do want to propose a hypothesis, though. It is like this, that there are indeed animals. I mean, there where it lives, in carpets, in fur, there is often not a lot of water. Maybe some kind of a condensation water or so, but not, in apartments, not really. So they are able to live in a dry environment in apartments and can do a lot of damage to carpets. No water. So what I assume is that, and this is where it's getting a little bit biochemical, when organisms, when they oxidize, when they burn food, water is made as an end product. Also for us humans, in cell respiration, when you basically glucose is broken down to carbon dioxide, water is being made. And I assume that many of those tiny animals are able to produce their own water. For example, certain desert animals, the desert mammals, desert rodents, they are able to produce their own water. Yeah. So slime molds as well. Okay, I'm not happy with my slime molds. I'll be honest with you. I wanted to basically, I just made a recent YouTube short with some slime molds on it, but these videos were actually from last year. That are repurposed, but I wanted to again grow some of the slime molds, but was not very successful. So I was not able to get them back to life, unfortunately. So still working on it. Okay. So let me quickly read. Okay. Some general comments. Barbed hair. So, yeah, mounting stages are called instar. Okay. Molting instar stages. Okay. Yeah, and another thing that I wanted to quickly show you, a little not successful as well. And that is something where I don't know, I'm also working on. Before the live stream, I was actually hoping to find some dust mites and just show you how I collected them. I was not successful, so please, I'm not going to show you dust mites because I could not find any, but I just want to show you what I have done to try to find them. What I've got here is I collected using just sticky tape from my bed, right? Because we humans, we are shedding a lot of skin cells, and those skin cells are actually the food for mites, for dust mites. Some people are allergic against them. And I basically pressed the tape against the surface of my mattress and collected whatever I found there. I'm just going to show it to you. It is interesting how much dirt there is. However, unfortunately, I was not able to find any dust mites. So this is something that I'm currently working on. Okay, but it should kind of illustrate to you how much there is actually on there. Yeah, you can see a lot of fibers. Yeah, so this is a lot of unidentified material, and yeah, I need to spend a little bit more time maybe trying to find something interesting here. Yeah, so those fine things that you see. Where is this? Yeah, those fine flakes that you see are very often skin cells that have accumulated. Of course, dust, some textile fibers. Yeah, from the mattress itself. I found hair, of course. Yeah, but unfortunately, as I already said, yeah, no movement, no life, which I consider a little bit of a pity. I was really hoping to find some dust mites in my bed. What did I just say? I was hoping to find some of the mites in my bed. Yep, that's the language of a biologist. Most people are grossed out. Did I tell you already the story? No, I didn't. Oh gosh, it's a couple of years ago. I'm a teacher in school, right? And sometimes, especially younger students, they get really excited about biology, which is really nice. And then even without me asking them, this student, they've got animals at home, cats and dogs and so on. This student brought me along a complete jar with, I don't know, 10, 12, 15, 20 ticks. Not those tiny ones, but they were soaked full with blood, right? A centimeter across. Yeah, they looked like berries, right? And then they put them in a jar. Basically picked them off from their pet and then put them in a jar and then gave them to me. And I had them standing on my table, on my desk. Then the teacher was sitting, the teacher was sitting next to me was not happy about that. Yeah, didn't like this idea at all. So that's true. Some people, yeah, feel creeped out by these things. I also kept some fly larvae and maggots in the refrigerator. My wife did not like that either. Occasionally, I like to store petri dishes in the refrigerator. Not everyone likes that either. And indeed, I think it's a good idea to have a proper separation here, right? You don't want to gross out other people with your hobby. Yeah, but I just wanted to, in any case, this is a little bit was a little bit of a thing that I just want to show you. If you want to go hunting for dust mites, you take a piece of tape, press it on bed sheeting and your mattress to collect a little bit. You have to look for them where basically there are also skin cells. Unfortunately, I was not successful to show them to you. Okay, so that is this here. And as a last thing, what I want to do is the following. Because 3 weeks ago, I started this, how do you say, this culture, this enrichment culture. And yeah, it looks disgusting, which is a good sign, but I'm not quite sure whether I'm able to find interesting cells here, because there is a natural progression happening. So cells like ciliates and other water microorganisms appear and disappear. And I would just like to simply do a little test and see if something's there. Then we're gonna call it a day for today. So I've included in here some crushed cereals. Gonna go in here directly next to it, take up a small sample. Okay, and usually what I do first is the following. Before I put on a cover glass at low magnification, I'll have a look first, because right now it's still everything's much concentrated in a smaller area. So it's easier to get an overview of if something is there in the first place. And yeah, what we see over here is the following, a fairly disappointing sample. Okay, I do not, I see tiny, you might see a little bit of some tiny movement, yeah, in the background, but I do not see any larger cells. And this was actually a surprise. I mean, I've checked it before. And I was kind of wondering why this is the case. I don't know. Maybe because the oxygen level dropped so much because of so many bacteria. Yeah. So there is also another one that I want to have a look at. Okay. This one looks a little bit more green, eh? Green. So let's have a look at this here. Yeah, so this is another jar. There also seems to be a little bit of algae growth also happening. And let's have a look at this one. And sometimes it's like this, that even in the same jar, if you take a sample from different regions, it can be quite different. So this one is doing better. Okay. And indeed, we've got some ciliates here. And there are way more. Yeah. And if you keep on checking every few days, then you're going to see that the population changes around. So sometimes different species appear, others disappear, and so on. Yeah. There has been the question, as always, is about safety concerning this, and I say, well, it's the same as when spoiling food, for example. Yeah, if you try to avoid, of course, direct contact, yeah, with your fingers. Otherwise, you just disinfect using alcohol. Yeah. But after all, these are water microorganisms. Yeah. Yeah. So just wanted to, you know what? Why not? I mean, they're too small. I'm going to add a cover glass. Let's have a little larger so that we can have a better look at them. And then I think I will slowly call it a day after the big shock at the beginning of the live stream. But then luckily we found out what the problem was. So of course, when you put a cover glass on top, then you have to find them because they are now spread out much more. Yeah, here they are. Okay, you get the idea. So last things here. Okay, I'm going to quickly, I think I've answered most of them already. Yeah. Foraminifera, interesting. I do have one slide. So I'm going through some of your questions here. I have not found the shorts to be very interesting, but I have supported them with likes. Yeah, the shorts things, I'll be honest with you. I'll be very honest with you. generally, I don't like making YouTube shorts so much. Yeah, I feel quite rushed. I like the longer formats a little bit more, like those live streams. But it is indeed like that, that you can reach new audiences and new people with YouTube shorts. And then if they're interested in microscopy, then hopefully they're also going to watch some of the slower, the longer films, videos. Yeah. So that's yeah. Evolution of prokaryotes and protozoa evolution. Uh-huh. I would love to see those reactivated. Those, yeah, I will do that. Okay, I talked about that. Yes. Could you use a concave dish slide and add a ring? So that is a good point here. I've got here the question. When I made those spacer rings before, can you not also use a concave slide? A short answer is yes, you can, but they're more expensive. That's the only reason. Okay, so those concave slides are possible. Sometimes the depth is not quite right, but you can of course then also add spacer rings. The only reason why I'm not using them is the cost. That's it. Okay. Turning table, I talked about that. Is uPearl a brand name or a generic name? Good question. It's always been called uPearl, and different companies have made uPearl based on the recipe. So yeah, it's not. I think it's not specific to a brand. I don't know, but I know that what I've heard, the recipe and how it's made actually is it's not a secret. It's a fairly traditional medium as well. And again, I like it a lot because it's easy to use, and because you do not need to completely dehydrate the specimen. So, for example, with some other modern ones, you had the specimen must be completely dry, and you must put it into xylene and organic solvents. And I don't like messing around with that. So that's why uPearl is a fairly easy to use medium. Yeah. Do you use linear polarizing filters or circular polarizing filters for polarizations? Which one do you use for crystals? Linear polarizing filters, definitely. Okay, because I mean you can use circular polarizing as well, but then you have to also get the orientation correct. Yeah, and it's easier to use the linear polarizing filters, and they are also but I would say just play around with them, right? So linear polarizing filters are simply easier to use. Yeah? And with the circular ones, for example, some 3D glasses, they have circular polarizing ones, and you have to get the correct orientation. It doesn't always work. Yeah, for practicality, I always use linear polarizing ones for the crystals. Is there any other mounting medium other than uPearl, spelled with an AL at the end, not OL, that clears? Not that I know of. There are two ways that are essentially used to also clear the insects and spiders, arachnids in that sense. And that is number one, you can apparently, never tried it, you can use lactic acid. Lactic acid apparently clears it, and also potassium hydroxide, KOH solution. And basically they also have the advantage, especially KOH, that it will remove all of the soft tissue. So it will actually remove all of the internal organs, and then this will also clear it up much better. Unfortunately, I do not know the link. Maybe somebody can find it and post it, or I will do that. There is somebody who's actually been doing insect preparation, also fairly large insects of spiders, and this was really interesting. Okay, he showed how he actually prepares spiders for microscopy, and he put them, I think, also into potassium hydroxide, KOH. Yeah, and yeah, very nice. And then you have to dehydrate it again with alcohol and so on. Let's say linear polarizers are fine. I'm reading this again. Okay. So I've used both, but I find linear polarizers easier to. Yeah. Have you tried the vacuum with an old stocking method? I've not tried that. So that goes back to collecting the dust mites. What you can do is you take a vacuum cleaner, you take a stocking, a nylon stocking as a net, and then basically all of the dust and the dirt and the mites are then caught in the stocking, in the nylon stocking. Again, I've got a lot of things on my bucket list. This would be certainly also one of them. Yeah. Mitochondria, are they viewable under the microscope? No. You have to probably stain them properly. That is a little bit the problem. Those cell organelles are difficult to see. You can see certain larger cell organelles like vacuoles, of course. Vesicles moving is fine, but I think mitochondria are quite difficult to see. Yeah, you'd have to stain them. Yeah, and I'm quite sure that there are. Never tried it myself. Yeah, so these are basically this one here. That's a typical one when it exploded. That's what's left over when when one dies. So they're getting squeezed a little bit right now, and maybe that's the reason why. Really. Okay, people. I think what I'm gonna do now is I'm going to call it a day again. Let me quickly go down again. Linear polarizer is fine. You can get it over Amazon. Look, let me see if I've got some more left. If you buy polarizing film, then you can. I recommend that you buy those here. They're not so expensive. I'm not making advertisement for anything, right? It's just that I happen to have those. Yeah, they usually come. Yeah, so it says linear polarizer. It contains a protective cover that you have to remove. Yeah, and look what I have done. I've even cut out some of them. Yeah, and yeah. So yeah, I've cut out several of those and I did a little bit of experimentation. So I actually would say they're obviously much thinner than the glass ones. These are from an old photo camera, filters from a photo camera, which yeah. And also linear polarizers, but I would say you probably want to go with those. Okay, can be bought over Amazon, and yeah, then you get an envelope and basically more than enough. Yeah, you cut out a circle and you put it on the lamp. Another one you put on the slide, and off you go. Yeah? So it's very easy, yeah, to do that. What you can do, even if you want to, I mean, honestly, you can. Let me take out an eyepiece somewhere. Yeah, if you want to, here's an eyepiece. You can even think about maybe putting a polarizing filter either here on top or in here, right? And then you can turn that if you just want to observe it. So plenty of opportunities for experimentation. Yeah. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to do the following. I'm going to call it a day because yeah, I've been doing this now for quite well over 1.5 hours. Here, this one here. And what I'm going to say is I'm just going to say bye-bye and hope it was interesting again. Hope to see you again next week and see you around. Happy microbe hunting. Bye.